Hello there. So it was about 6 months ago now that I built the A1200, which I covered in a video alongside the A3000 Atari Falcon and the A1200. And I'd said the reason why I'd built this pretty much from parts, new and old, was so that I could get invested in it, expending time and money, and it didn't really work because it's been 6 months and I have still never switched this on. And just to recap, I've never owned a Commodore, I've never owned an Amiga, I've never played on a Commodore 64, I've never played on an Amiga, ever. I've seen Last Ninja running on a Commodore 64, and I've seen Rainbow Islands running on an Amiga, but I've never actually played on one. And this is because of the old Spectrum Commodore war back in the day and the ST Amiga thing, you know, it's stupid. But as in the last video, I basically thought this is the best looking computer of its time, going back from when the home computer revolution started in the late 70s, all the way through to when it ended around 1992 with the Trinity. So yes, I put all this together in the video. Original motherboard, I bought the shielding, the original shielding, I got a reconditioned floppy drive, I got new OS, compact flash, I got a reproduction case in grey, I got a faulty keyboard which needed a new membrane, got the membrane, then I replaced the keycaps with modern recreations, as you can see, in black. I have a alternative power supply. I have a tank mouse thanks to Mike Daly, who very kindly donated this. And yes, I have never actually used it in my life. I have never switched it on. I recapped the board stupidly because I was just in that kind of mood. I didn't test the board before I actually recapped it. So whilst it was sold as working, I don't know whether it was working. And in the recapping of it, I don't know whether I've made a mistake and not, soldered a cap in properly or what have you. They're definitely the right way around though. So what I'm going to do today is I've got this hooked up to the OSSC, SCART cable's plugged in, power's plugged in but it's not yet switched on, and I'm going to see if this thing explodes or not. So yeah, that's kind of the video for today. Is will I get little lights here, I guess. This light assembly was new, a new part, and yeah, the badge as well, yeah, that was new. So yeah, I'm going to switch it on and see what happens, and if it pops I'm going to shit myself. If it does go up in smoke, then I might not even post the video. So there you go, you've got a camera capturing this, and so yeah, apparently if I just switch this on here, and if nothing happens, that'll be really disappointing. So we have some lights on, and we've got something flashing, but to be honest, with the OSSC, I'm not really sure what I should be doing with it, whether I should be doing anything particular to configure it. It's currently running in a profile that is suited to the ZX Spectrum Next, running at 50 Hz. So I'm just going to see what happens if I reset settings. Okay, so I don't seem to be getting anything out of it. This is certainly, as far as I'm aware, plugged into the video. I'm not sure what these lights are, to be honest. I'm new to these machines, I've never used one before. I'm just wondering now, is the OSSC set up properly? If I just switch it off and on again. Ooh, would you look at that? I guess I hadn't pressed the button on the OSSC. So yeah, we've got Wow, the mouse works as well. So I'm not really sure whether this is the way things should look or whether I need to be looking at creating a profile for it. As mentioned, I got the new operating system. I can't remember what that's actually called though in Amiga world. Amiga OS. Don't know which camera to point this at actually. Amiga OS, that one there. So yeah, this I believe I had to get this so that I was licensed, and then I got the ROMs I think and plugged them in. I bought a compact flash thing that was ready baked. I've also got this PCMCIA adapter, which is what I intended to use to actually transfer stuff to it. So, okay, I've never seen this before. I have Data Games Workbench, I don't really know. But it kind of looks to me like the screen may be going off the side because the mouse pointer is disappearing somewhat. So I might have to look at some settings for that. Data, do we have data? 3.8 gig free, so I guess there's nothing in there. Games, demo, yeah, okay. What's a good demo? And I don't even think I've got the audio set up, to be honest. I mean, I've got it plugged in, but I'm not sure what the OSSC is set to. Because to be honest, I wasn't expecting this thing to work. Just click on things. Can't allocate shadow memory. I don't know. Maybe I do need a RAM expansion for this thing. It's currently running at stock, which I think is 2 meg. And I do have this thing kindly donated again by Mike Daly, who gave me the tank mouse, which I haven't fitted yet. One little piece of common sense in terms of does it work without it first. The only bit of common sense I've applied to this whole project really. So for this RAM FPU RTC, I need to get a battery, and then I'll probably plug it in, and I'm not sure whether these demos perhaps need some of this memory here. It feels a bit like the Falcon really, and the TT that you have kind of, you have the ST RAM and you have the TT RAM, or fast RAM. But at least the damn thing works, and I'm going to have to go online and see if there's any good OSSC profiles for this thing. So yeah, utilities, drivers, blah blah blah, Workbench. Yeah, I mean, it's a whole new world of discovery here. I'm not actually sure as well whether I can change the resolution, or whether this is typically it. But you know, what a voyage of discovery, eh? Someone who's never touched one of these things before, trying to work out how to use it. So yeah, I've got a lot to learn about it. Anything on the RAM disk? Probably not. And I guess the question as well is, do I have to switch it off and on to change PCMCIA card? I probably will anyway, just to see if this PCMCIA card works. I'm not sure whether this compact flash card came with it. I'm not sure whether I kind of asked for one with it and whether there's anything on it. Presumably though, I was just going to plug this into a PC, transfer stuff across, and then plug the PCMCIA card in, which goes in here, I guess. But switch it on, see what happens. Yes, I'm going to need to work out what these lights are. One's obviously power, I'm not sure what the other one is, and I'm assuming this one at the top is disk activity. Well, it's a beautiful looking thing. As I say, it's the best looking computer ever, and it's really what drove me into kind of burying my dislike for Commodore Amiga, even though people say this isn't really a Commodore, to bury my dislike of that. So yeah, the PCMCIA doesn't seem to be showing up. I'm not really sure what to do about that. I'm probably going to have to do some more research, whether I have to go into some settings somewhere to pick it up. We've got preferences. Screen mode, there we go, screen mode, so that's one thing. And I'm not sure what this video output will allow through the OSSC. So the PAL high res, visual size, blah 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 blah. Okay, so laced, low res, super high res. Not sure whether that'll work, but let's see what happens. Couldn't open test screen. Yeah, it's quite a high res that. I'm not really sure what would happen. Res laced. Couldn't open test screen. Just see what happens if I can change res. Ah, yeah, okay. Right, okay, so that's good. That'll allow me to align my OSSC to get the screen exactly where it needs to be. Press space to stop the timer. Oh yeah, I guess the question is, does the keyboard work? It might not. Because that is something I do need to test, so... Yeah, if the keyboard doesn't work, that's a bit of a problem. Okay, I'll just leave that for now. So I just need something to check the keyboard, and I'm not sure whether that is something good. I just need some kind of app that allows me to type some stuff. I mean, I could just rename a file or something. Utilities, yeah, multi-view. Tools, text edit, perfect. So if this doesn't work, then... Oh. Well, calculator, presumably I can type some numbers in. So that works. I'm not sure if the spacebar is working. And I would like to know if the other keys are working. So, I wonder, can I just create... You know, how do you actually... Oh, that, okay. Open volume, withdraw, I can't create a new file. Can I create a new folder? Surely I can create a folder somewhere. I mean, what am I... People who know the Amiga will be going, oh, idiot. New draw? No, don't know what that means. Yeah, so, any good utilities on here? Yeah, so WHD load as well is something I need to get an understanding of, because I believe you use it to load software off hard disk. Yeah, so I don't want to just click around blindly here. I wonder if you can rename something like tools to something else. Rename. Okay. Yeah, just doing the basic letters for the moment. Ooh, that was just me, by the way. Oh, spacebar is working. Okay. And numeric pad, yeah. I mean, it's a brand new membrane, so I didn't expect it. I wouldn't expect it not to work. And also, you know, that ribbon was perfect, basically. Perfect condition, the keyboard ribbon cable. So yeah, that is the Amiga working, and I am actually quite shocked. And I don't show it because I tend to keep things, you know, buried. But yeah, that is working. So I'm going to learn how to use it. If anyone has any guidance on, you know, how to get started, do I need to plug this thing in to get, you know, a lot of these demos and games and such to work? If so, I can do that. I can source a battery, assuming it's a standard CR2032, is it? But I can check that anyway and see. But yeah, I'm really pleased. Annoyed though, because I had it open before just to insulate the compact flash adapter because it's floating inside the case. But then again, can't I insert this without opening the case? Because this is a reproduction, and it has an off. Has a trapdoor, doesn't it? It sure does. And I should probably unplug this before I start faffing around with trapdoors and the like. I do recall trying to open this trapdoor and it wouldn't open, and I think you need a bit more force on it. And I'm not really sure if this is the right tool for the job. Assuming that you just put a bit of... Oh yeah, okay. Is that... You gonna come out, mate? Yeah. Nice one. Okay, so in here we have the connector thingy. So I won't have the RTC. I imagine it'll be fine without the RTC. I can go and shove a battery in at some point. And this can only go in one way, I presume. The longer connector is here, the shorter one is here. So I guess how do you get something like this in? Is there anything else you need to connect, or do you literally just plug it in like this? Avoiding these wires, which I think is the LEDs on the top of the unit, or is it power for the floppy drive? I don't know. Well, yeah, it's certainly not easy to try and align it when I can't really get it fully in. Got a floppy drive. That's the floppy drive, isn't it? Yeah. Got the floppy drive cable that just seems to be getting in the way a little bit. I might just open this up to fit this card because it just feels like it's not going to go in easily. And I can't really get the alignment right because I can't really see where this card is lining up. And if I could get this floppy ribbon cable out of the way a bit, I think it needs to kind of sit on top of it a bit. And I presume when I plug this in it will show up when I boot the system as something. Yeah, I'm not sure I'm going to persevere with doing it this way. Now, I think I'm going to open it up. Oh, hold on, did that just... Maybe it didn't actually, now I'm probably just imagining it. No. No, so I'm going to open it up, I think, and fit this thing. Be for the best. Just going to unplug it. Ah, that's annoying because I did this just before. I got it all nicely back together again. Make a point not to lose these screws. Come on. Came out so easily last time. Get out, you little bugger. Yeah, they were kind of very nicely magnetic before. I'll come back to that one. So these are all the same size. The back ones are longer, and this one here is slightly longer. This one is a short one, I believe. These are all the same. And then it's just this little fella here, shaky hand, little bugger. Come on. Get that lined up properly. Yes, these are the long ones. Grand National Day today, so good luck with that. Although I probably won't upload this video until after, so yeah. Were there any Spectrum games on the Grand National? Let's have a look. Let's take this out. I think the screw's in the way. So that's in the way of the screw. And then this little bugger finally here. Get out. Why won't you just get out? I'll just lift the case off and let it contemplate. Let's keep it together. Okay, so yeah, it's a bit of cable there. I'm assuming I can get to this more easily. Let's knock the camera there. With this up. Looks it. I just don't want to knock these screws all over the place, so put them in there. And we've got one screw still potentially in the case. So this thing here goes a bit like this. All these wires were in the way. So yeah, I just need to kind of work out, well, how does this go? And do I have to start taking things out? Because, oh no, it's alright. It just doesn't seem to be a huge amount of space in there. Yeah. So we've got the shielding, which is protruding about a mil. I'm going to have to just turn this a bit so I can see exactly what I'm doing. Do I just need to, this bit as well here, which is the case plastic. I mean, should they be this awkward? Just can't get the board down far enough, and it feels like I'm going to have to remove shielding here. Which I didn't want to do because I quite like the shielding. It's sprayed in conductive paint, by the way, if you're wondering why it's black. So it is conducting. It was very beat up. I mean, it almost feels like I have to shave a fraction off the PCB itself. But it would go in, yeah. I kind of get where this is going now, because I think the shielding protrudes at the top and this protrudes at the top, therefore it's probably best to do it this way. And people were probably thinking of that whilst they were watching me struggle, but that's just the way things go. Just here to annoy. Which kind of makes it just as difficult to see. Ah, okay, I think I have some, I don't know, kind of went a little bit, but not all the way. I mean, it feels like it's aligned properly. Sorry if I'm knocking the camera. Okay. That's quite a tight fit. Okay. And I presume it just sits like that. Because everything in this case seems to just sit. I mean, I have this bracket for the drive, but it sticks out too high, but it just seems to sit in these little holes in the board. And the floppy drive, similarly, it's not really, it's just a little bracket here. But it's like when the whole case goes together, that's when that seems to be the thing that ties it all together. Kickstart ROMs, yeah, 322, Workbench on here. So that is in, and nicely enough, when I do get the battery, I don't need to open this whole thing up again. I can just open the trapdoor underneath. So yeah, keyboard goes back in. Yeah, it's a bit of a... Let's make sure that's there. Because it can protrude a little bit on the side. And you'll notice I am not an anti-static wristband person. Yeah, don't recommend you do that. Doing it for years now. Never had a problem. Okay, I think that's it. Make sure the wires don't get caught on that thing. Let's make sure this floppy drive shifted at all. That's a towel. Looks alright. Let's just make sure that this screw, there's the screw. The screw that didn't want to come out. Make sure this is gonna go back together nicely. Sometimes it can not align quite right. Okay, so I wasn't going to do all this, I was just going to do a video of my surprise when it actually worked, or my fear and panic when it blew up. So yeah, you can feel a certain pride when you've you know, gotten all the parts, don't really know the score with them, recapped it. That was a bit of a pain. I mean, some of them were a lot easier to do than others. There's one right next to the keyboard connector, which I couldn't really avoid burning the keyboard connector, melting it a little bit because the capacitor's right behind it. And I've never done surface mount stuff before. And as I say in all my videos, I have a bit of a shaky hand, which really doesn't help. So I'm kind of looking at this battery compartment now on this FPU and thinking, oh yeah, okay, so there's a bit. I was thinking it was raised a bit there and the lid wouldn't go on. But of course it will. Okay, so just remind myself of where these are going. One of these is in there, one of these is in there. These can be a bit of a pain because of the deep recess and you can't really see if the screw's going down straight or not. Just got to wiggle them a bit, see if they drop in. Oh yeah, that one's going in. Okay. Nice. This one here, reach over the camera. Yeah, so I'd lost my mojo a bit on the old vintage computer scene. And I just couldn't be bothered. That's why this thing's been sitting unused, unloved for 6 months in my lap. And then I just thought, you know what? I want to have a play again. Of course, I see people playing with their TTs. I'm thinking, you know, I should be getting my TT out. And I will. But I've got a lot of learning to do on this particular system. I'm not just going to play games on it, I want to learn how to use it and get the most out of it. Okay, so this little fella is back together. And let me just plug this back in now. So this is another leap of faith, you know, plugging this board in. Is it going to work? I'll probably put the trapdoor back on as well because I'm confident I won't need to go in there again for a little bit until I get the battery. Yeah, I don't want to bend those cables, but just remember which way it goes. That way. Seems to be. Okay, so we have a 8 meg RAM upgrade. We have an FPU, we have an RTC which doesn't have a battery yet. Okay, so all that extra componentry in there, all these little black bits, flecks of paint, this conductive paint, just to make the inside look nice that no one's ever going to see. So, mouse, yeah, I've got to plug the power in again. Big fat cable that, isn't it? I often wonder why, you know, especially going back to the Amiga 500, why isn't the power supply in the case? Because surely the ST could do it. Does this really require that much more power than the ST and, you know, the STE? The original PSU is massive. This is quite light actually by comparison, so I'm not really sure how much is actually in there and maybe why is it so big. But anyway, if I switch this little bad fella on and see if we get the lights, do we get an explosion? Okay, so we get something. Oh, this light is going. Okay, so basically same as before. I'm not sure where I look for kind of what's in the system. No fast man. Are you shitting me, sir? So I guess, does that mean this board is not working? I'm not really sure. Show config, what does that do? Memory. Okay, so we can see an 8 meg in there. Public DMA kick. Fast RAM, yeah, okay. FPU is one of, no, it's AGA. It's the advanced graphics architecture, isn't it? Oh yeah, FPU, we've got the 68882, which is the same kind of FPU in the, you can put in the Falcon, I think. And could you put with the TT as well? I think you could have a 68881 or a 68882 in the Falcon, I know that much. Expansion, Hawk, RAM board, yeah. Devices. I'm wondering actually if I plug my PCMCIA, if I can remember where show config is. Will I see that? I can't remember whether the compact flash card's been formatted correctly or whether it came pre-built. It's been a while. Okay. See, I've actually forgotten where that was now. I don't have that kind of muscle memory now, so I have actually forgotten. Was it show config? Yeah, got it. So RAM board, devices, the now I do know that there's I read about stuff years ago, well not years ago, 6 months ago, that said something around the PCMCIA slot, which is fine with the 68020, I think, at the regular, what was it, 14 odd megahertz. But if you use faster processors, then PCMCIA might be an issue, but this is stock 68020 processor, running at the standard clock speed. So I'm not really sure what I have to do to get PCMCIA working. Got a HD toolbox. See if that actually picks up PCMCIA. So yeah, we've just got a disky thing. Prep card. That looks like a PCM. So yeah, no card slot. Any ideas? I think it is inserted correctly. I mean, it's in to the max. So yeah. Not upside down, no. Should go in that way, I believe. So yeah, I don't think I can get the PCMCIA working at this point, but if anyone has any pointers, you know, pleading. So yeah, I'll get the screen set up properly, get the OSSC, I'll set up a new profile on the OSSC, use that test card thing, assuming this is kind of the ideal resolution maybe for this. Yeah, no card slot. What does that mean? Yeah, so new world of discovery. Cheers. See you later.